my senoritas, hola, my papitos. Welcome, Bizak, to Cosmeholics Anonymous. I am your favorite mom, Bougie Vintage, and today we're doing a makeup tutorial. So if you guys watch a lot of YouTube videos, then you know Priscilla Ono, who is one of the best MUAs ever.com. She recently did Nikki Tutorials makeup, who is also like one of the only unproblematic gurus on the internet. She went to Holland and literally did Nikki Tutorials makeup, and she did the Fenty face, which obviously everybody knows what that is. It's just a really basically basic makeup look. And so I kind of wanted to do a Fenty face because I feel like I've been neglecting my Fenty products, and I haven't used Fenty in a while because I've been using a lot of Makeup Forever, and I've just been trying so many different brands and branching out. So I just wanted to take it on back to Miss Fenty and get my life. So of course my eyebrows are already done. I used Benefit. You guys probably want a brow tutorial because, oh, I forgot to seal my brows. You guys probably want a brow tutorial because, you know, ever since I switched to Benefit, my brows have been looking a lot better. You know, I don't really hate them anymore. I don't even dislike them. I have like, you know, almost a love-hate relationship with them now, not just pure hate. If you want a tutorial, let me know. But for whatever reason, every time I try to film a brow tutorial, it gets a little messy, and I can't do my brows on camera. Like, they just turn to shit. This brow's actually not even right, but it's okay. I did use my Benefit Ka-Brow. This is the shade 5. Love this. Before I actually filled the brows in, I went in with the Bravo Conditioning Primer. Okay, which I actually really like this to start my brows off with. And then I cleaned it up with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC45. And then, of course, I just set it with my 24-hour brow setter. So I use only Benefit products on my brows and MAC concealer. So I also sprayed my face with SMASHBOX primer water. I feel like this intro is mad long, but that's okay. And we are going to start with our Fenty Beauty primer. I'm just going to do it based on how I remember Priscilla doing Nikki's face, because I feel like that's the only true way to do a Fenty face if you're following the national, what is it? National brand, national makeup art. I don't know what the hell her title is. I just know that she applied the primer, the Pro Filter primer, which is one of my favorite primers, if not my favorite primer. She applied it with the foundation brush, which is the 110. I put on a generous amount of primer because I need my shit to stay. And actually, I really enjoyed the video with her and Priscilla because I felt like Priscilla was really explaining the products and like telling me shit I didn't know about them, like that they're like super duper intense with the testing, and it's like humidity resistant, which makes sense because Ree is from Barbados. And they were just, it was really informational, so I really did like it. I enjoyed watching it. And
informal.
Informational.
Informational is not a word.
You want to make a bet?
No.
Huh?
No.
Okay. I think I told you guys that one time when I used my Fenty Beauty products and I went out, my face, I was literally sweating in the club, and when I checked my makeup at like 4 a.m. in the McDonald's, a bitch was flawless. So it's definitely humidity resistant. Anytime I wear Fenty, I don't have to worry about my upper lip losing foundation or anything like that. So that's definitely a plus. I haven't used my Fenty foundation in a long time, so I'm just going to shake it up. And I'm going in with the shade 410, and I'm also going to apply it with the brush. I think I saw Priscilla like pump it onto the brush and then use it, but I can't really remember. And it's actually good that I use the primer with the brush because now the brush is a little bit damp per se, and it's going to really help to apply the foundation. So she was applying it in circular motions, and I was like, oh, because I usually, oh, I didn't color correct. I'm gonna color correct on top. There's no color correcting in the Fenty Beauty, in the Fenty face, which I was like, no ma'am, no sir, no thank you. The brush definitely does a good job with applying the foundation. However, I'll probably still go in with my sponge because I just prefer to use a sponge when applying my foundation. I'm making sure to get down onto the neck, henty, because we want it to be cohesive. It's literally so weird to apply my foundation with a brush. I'm so used to using my beauty blender. Okay, so I'm just gonna check. For the most part, my application is not streaky, so I don't really need to do any bouncing, but I'm all about added security, henty, okay? All about added security. And also, when you use a beauty blender, and I know I should be using my Fenty sponge, but girl, I ain't got time today. I didn't wet it, so. What was I saying? I was saying, added security. What was I saying, babe? Were you listening?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Let's just forget about it because I had no idea what I was saying. I got very distracted just now. And yes, I am off the bean right now. Coffee bean. Off the mother effing bean! I feel like I haven't done a coffee tutorial in so long. We are Gucci with the foundation application and we are loving it. I actually prefer the application with the brush. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm wearing foundation, but I feel like I don't look like I'm wearing foundation. I feel like my skin looks exactly the same, which is not a bad thing because we're going for a nice natural face. For under eye corrector and lip corrector, we're gonna go in with our MAC Prep and Prime highlighter in Peach Luster. You guys know this is one of my holy grails. And we're just going to get this under eye area situated before we apply our concealer. Now, Fenty, I need a color corrector from you guys, preferably liquid or like a creamy type, not like stick form, you know. I need like a nice consistency between liquid and cream, if you don't mind. I have a few requests that I will talk about throughout the process of this video or the duration of this video. Okay, and so whenever I color correct on top, I kind of like it to sit on top of my makeup because I am going to obviously color correct. I mean, because I am obviously going to conceal the area as well. But this is such a thin type of corrector that I usually like to apply underneath my foundation, but because I forgot, I'm applying it on top. And I want it to sit on top. I really don't want to blend it all the way in because I'm half raccoon. No, you didn't know, but I am half raccoon. So, you know, the dark circles are real. And of course, around my mouth because we're definitely due for some hair removal. And so now that we've done that, we can move on to the lovely, lovely concealer. So for concealer, I am going to be taking my Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Suede. Basically, these are a little dry. How I use this is I usually like smudge it on my MAC palette, or you could do it on the back of your hand, but I like to do it on the palette because I feel like it really helps to turn the stick into more of a cream feel. And so once you smudge it and it becomes creamy, because it is very matte, which in the video she was actually stating how these will never dry out. If you lose the lid for it, it will literally never dry out. You just have to like rub it and it's good to go. So I'm gonna apply it under my eye. And oh, see, I made it super creamy, honey. I can't remember exactly how she was applying it, but that's how I'm gonna apply it. And I'm not going all the way under the eye. I'm gonna blend upward simply because the concealer will crease on me, and that's not something I want ever. I don't remember her setting Nikki's face. I don't think she used the Invisimatte powder on on Nikki, but that's neither here nor there. So this product actually dries fairly quickly, so I'm going to do my under eye and then move on to the rest of my face with the concealer. So I'm just taking the pointy side of my beauty blender and blending it out, and you could always add more. Priscilla was explaining in the video that a lot of the times when Rihanna's doing like a photo shoot and she's doing more than one makeup look, she doesn't take the makeup off. She literally just keeps layering it on top, and it never looks cakey or like she's wearing too much makeup. So that's the really cool thing about Fenty. You can layer it on top of itself and you're never gonna look like a cake face. Unless you want to look like a cake face, I could suggest some products for you, but nobody wants to look like a cake face. So obviously it's really, really nice when you blend it out. It looks gorgeous. And keep in mind that all of the Fenty products are kind of self-setting, so you don't necessarily need to use setting powders and stuff of that nature if you are like a beginner and you're not really ready to commit to baking and stuff because you don't want to look ashy or you don't really know what you're doing. The Fenty products are great because you don't have to set them. And it also cuts your makeup application in half, literally. When you don't have to like bake and set and do all that other crazy stuff, your timing or the time you spend doing your makeup is like way less. So under my eyes is set. I'm going to warm up my stick again and going to do my forehead, my nose. Never skip your upper lip. When you're doing your makeup, I want you to remember my voice and telling you to never skip your upper lip, because if you do not highlight this area, you are going to look like you have a beard on. Unless your name, actually let me not. Just blend it away. And literally the key to makeup is blending. If you can't do anything else right, girl, blend, bitch. That's really the only way for your makeup to look flawless. Practice your blending. Once you master the art of blending, and the crazy thing is, no matter what products I use, anytime I use my Fenty products, I always like my makeup. Like sometimes I use products and I try to switch up my routine and like, you know, I just try to do different things and try new things. But sometimes I don't like my makeup at the end and I'm just like, bitch, ew. Like, ew, you're ugly. But whenever I use my Fenty products, I literally never feel that way. I always feel like I look freaking awesome. So for cream contour, I am going to be going with Truffle. This is another matchstick. Sometimes I do use espresso. Sometimes I use both. But because I'm going more with the natural look today, I'm going to use Truffle. And so the same rule applies. I literally just warm it up on the palette and smush it to get that cream going. And the way she was applying it in the video was with the brush. So instead of drawing lines and trying to blend it out, she basically applies a little at a time. She puts it on her brush and she works it into the skin, which is definitely not new. Still, people are creatures of habit. People like to draw the lines on, and I'm definitely one of those people that draw my lines and then go ahead and, you know, fix them. But I want to stick with the program. Apply little by little and just use the brush to contour. And again, this is a self-setting product, so you don't necessarily have to set it, but I will be setting it with my powder because I'm not the type of person that's gonna walk out her house unset. I'm so sorry about it. I don't care what the product says it does. I'm just not gonna set my face, you know? Because of the shape of this brush, you can literally use it for every part of your routine. You just need to clean your brush a little bit in between if you wanted to use it to blend out your concealer. Now that we have done all those steps, it's time to set our face. I would use my Fenty setting powder, but I want to bake and I can't bake with that. So I'm going to use my Ben Nye banana powder to set this area here under my eyes. And for me, it's really important to set the under eye area because of the type of concealer I used. I am going to get creasing, which obviously nobody wants that, but that's just what happens when you use cream. The one thing that really stands out to me about Fenty is that the products are not only humidity resistant, but sweat proof. Because if you're like me, you get sweating on your upper lip, badly on your nose, and a lot of the times it affects your makeup. And like sometimes I'm out here looking crazy because I didn't sweat my shit off. And so I need to always be using products that are low-key waterproof so that I don't get that. That's why I'm such a big fan of the Pro Longwear concealer, because it's a waterproof concealer and a sweat resistant concealer, as well as the Face and Body foundation. To set my contour, I will be taking my MAC Pro Longwear concealer. I'll be taking my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Deep, and I'm just gonna pat that one. Pat, pat, pat. We don't want a really like heavy layer of that. We just kind of want, which brings me to the next product that I need from Fenty. Oh wait, actually, I forgot to say, Fenty, hunty, we need this, which is the universal powder in loose. Okay, we need a loose, finely milled setting powder from you. I ain't gonna ask you again, okay? I'm really not gonna ask you again. I need that in my life. Like, the powder is awesome. It's just a little hard to work with, I find. So I need a loose powder. I also need a contour powder, preferably like this one by MAC, okay? Because this is, girl, it's the best. What else do I need? For now, that's it. Lord knows I'm on Fenty's naughty list. Lord knows. So to contour my nose, I'm still using the MAC powder, but I'm also going to use my Fenty Beauty 200 brush because it's nice and petite and it's perfect for nose contour. So I'm just getting the under part of my nose, and then we are going to get that on to the sides. Just set that truffle powder, that truffle matchstick. I don't like to like rub unless I didn't cream contour. Whenever I'm applying stuff over top of my cream contour, I like to just pat it on. Sometimes shit can get patchy and I ain't got time for that, so you know. Okay, so now I'm going to dust away the banana powder. Bye bye banana. I'm gonna come out with a banana powder and call it plantain powder. Give Ben Nye a run for their money, honey. So moving right along, we're gonna apply some blush. I'm gonna use Raisin by MAC, and that's something else I need from Fenty because they ain't got a blush. They have the matchsticks, which can be used as blushes, and even the highlighters can be used as blushes if you have like the colorful ones. But I need a matte blush like that. We are rosy, we are blushing for Jesus, and now we need to grab our highlighter brush, which is by Fenty, and we gotta choose a highlighter. Now my personal favorite is like Hustler Baby, I think, but I cannot wait for the how many carats, child. I can't wait. For highlighter, I am going to be using this brush, which I have not used since Fenty launched. And I'm going to go with Hustler Baby because it's like one of my favorite highlighters. Not just from Fenty, but period. Listen, Priscilla was given all the secrets, okay? So basically, Rihanna has like this super, I guess, unique way of highlighting. The brush is made perfectly for that. So you basically take it under the brow bone, up, and swoop down, child. I said, okay, bitch. So let me just get my highlighter on, which I've always actually really liked the brush. I thought it was unique, and it really contours the cheek nicely. But I just have the brushes that I usually use, so I never use this one to highlight with, but hello. I just need how many carats and my life will be complete. And I'm putting on quite a bit because the Fenty highlighters, you can actually apply a lot and it doesn't look like you have on too much highlighter. Now, if you wet it, that's a whole different story. But I'm not into the whole wetting of the highlighter. I'm good, love, and joy. She was all talking about wet skin. I look really matte right now, but once I, you know, spray my face, I should look a little bit more dewy. A lot of highlighter I got on, okay? Bitch is blanging. And I'm not going to put any on my forehead. We're good. Our face is basically done. I just got to put my moles on. The mole sisters. Now, I would use my Fenty liner, but I have no idea where that is right now, so. Of course, we are done our base makeup. It is time to move on to our eyes. I'm going to set my face with my Makeup Forever setting spray, and then I'm going to use my Fix Plus, which is coconut. Every time I do my makeup, especially if I use Fenty products, I always beg and plead for a damn setting spray, because how you gonna have all of this damn makeup and you ain't got no setting spray? Bitch, surprise me, Fenty. I need a setting spray like yesterday, okay? That's all I need. I need a setting spray. I need two. I need one for dew and one for matte. Y'all have so much matte going on in the damn collection. I don't even think we need a matte spray. We need like a neutral spray that's not gonna make you matte or dewy. It's just gonna set your makeup and let your face do the rest of the work, okay? Just smells so good. So, listen, cream products under the eye always make me feel like a bitch needs Botox. Like, I'm creasing, but we're gonna fix that with some eyeshadow. Now it's time to do our eyes. So, of course, we're gonna start that off with our Fenty Beauty Pro Filter eyeshadow primer, which has definitely grown on me, because you guys know when I first got it, I felt like it was sticky, which I still feel like it's sticky. I'm not going to change that. But what I do notice about it is that it does like really keep your shadows pigmented. I'm actually going to use a brush to spread that out. So we're just going to spread that, oops, all over the lid. So obviously I'm going to use my Moroccan Spice palette. I'm gonna start with Darling. Come and get it, because it's the closest thing we have to a transition shade, and quite frankly, none of them other colors can really be a transition shade for me right now. So I'm using the Fenty brush as well, and it's actually a little bigger than I would like, but that's totally fine. This is the 210 brush. Na, 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 na. See, that's my issue with this damn, if you don't have the primer in all the right places, your eyeshadow might not apply the way you want it to. Feels funny. Alright, that's enough. I think that's the only color I'm going to use from this palette for right now. So then I'm going to switch to my Ace Beauty palette. I'm going to grab the shade Red Rose. I forgot how pigmented these are. We are experiencing a little bit of fallout, which is okay. But I definitely don't want any more than I'm getting. If you haven't got these palettes, girl, you're sleeping and you need to wake up. Going back into my Fenty Beauty palette, I'm going to take Mirage, which is here. Throw it on that brow bone. Okay, and so yesterday I was watching, hold on, where's my little brush? Yesterday I was watching Kenneth's video. Kenneth Is He Flawless? Okay, and he had on such a freaking nice eye, so I think I'm going to try to do that same type of cut crease. So I'm just grabbing my MAC paint pot, which I don't necessarily need because I'm going to use a liquid glitter, but I'm just going to cut the crease. I'm just going to stamp it out. Oh, I forgot to add a color. Hold on. I'll just do this halfway. I'm going to go back into my Fenty Beauty palette before I finish cutting this crease here. And I'm going to take, what color is that? Shisha Smoke, which is the gray color here. Can't see right here. To the Fenty palette, and I'm taking the Shisha Smoke color again because I didn't finish doing what I was doing. And I'm going to apply it right here, just around that cut crease area.
No. She got my daddy is crazy. You have to take big bite nowadays, eh? No, leave it.
Okay, and then,
Babe,
yes,
my work hat was on the island in the kitchen. Where is it?
it's hanging on the fruit basket. Now I'm going to take Jezebel, which is a Stila liquid shimmer and glow, and I'm going to apply it to where I've added my paint pot. So you can technically skip the paint pot step
Where's your cup?
if you'd like.
Right up, freak.
I don't remember if Kenneth had on a liner or not. Doesn't matter. I'm actually going back into Shisha Smoke, and I'm just going to intensify that gray around lid. I don't think he had on a liner. But wait, there's more. Gotta grab the glitter. As if this weren't enough, we are going to grab our Stila liquid glitter and glow in Smoky Storm. And the beauty of these is that you don't need to add any type of base to them. You don't need to add glitter glue because it's liquid. It just adheres. It sticks like white on rice. We're just going to apply it. I've actually never used these products together before. I definitely don't think that these products are meant to be layered, but we're doing it. Hopefully it doesn't like get weird throughout the day and try to fall off. So I am going to be using my LashBox. This was sent to me by the LashBox. They are a Canadian company, black owned. Hello, hi, how are you? And it came with 6 sets of lashes. I've obviously already used those ones. They're in my bathroom. And today I think I'm going to go with Orax, okay, which is this lash down here. The link for this website will be in the description box. These are 100% mink lashes, by the way. So now I'm going to be taking Red Rose again, which is out of the Blossom Passion palette by Ace Beauty. And I'm just going to run it under my, I'm just running that on my lower lash line. And on the waterline, I'm going to take my NYX Wonder Pencil in dark. And then of course you want to throw on some mascara. I'm using my Benefit mascara. For lips, I am going to line with Auburn by MAC. And I'm going to take Griselda by Fenty Beauty, which is a deep red. In the center, I'm going to apply Madame, which is another Fenty Beauty lipstick, obviously. And now I'm taking my Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb, which you guys know how I feel about a glossy red, but I feel because it's so dark, it's okay, maybe. The gloss bomb's so nourishing. Like, it's so freaking nourishing. And I want my Pleasure Principle. Is it in my purse? I think it might be in my purse, so ixnay on that. But it's like a dazzle gloss and it has like glitter in it, so when you apply it to your lips, it leaves like a nice glitter over a dark lip. But it's not up here, so that's out of the question. Now I just gotta get my hair situated and we can talk about the finished look. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the finished look, the finished Fenty face, and I guess I'll just, I don't know if I can zoom any more than I. Anyway, you guys, I love you all, and I will definitely see you in the next one.